It's about place branding. The work that we all did in our groups, not only in the city but throughout the regions, has set a really solid foundation for the creative brief that we gave Ken Cato and his team. Not only is Ken world renowned in this area of place branding, the identity that we've come up with, no doubt, for ours really ticks the box. This hasn't been a one person or a small group of people. It's certainly been a demonstrable process that's encompassed a lot of people, a lot of research. One of the things that I really wanted to make sure, this wasn't just a closed shop, some think tank behind closed doors that just made some recommendation to the Premier and said, hey, run with this. What we did was made sure that we really engaged with people, our customers, like our customers, not only in South Australia, but our customers, which can be people interstate, overseas, businesses, families, tourists, and many different things. So I have no doubt that the process that we've been through over the past 6 or 7 months certainly has been well worthwhile.
The great difference between a place brand and a commercial brand is that you can control a commercial brand. A state, you can't do that. And in fact, we've got lots of different organisations, commercial organisations, government, tourism, investors, all sorts of things, doing their own thing about the state.
We need theory. Brands are based, good brands are based off strong theory and really strong architecture. There's a lot of thinking that go into strong brands.
The brand will actually be ultimately owned by the Crown. They'll be the custodian. But on strong advice, there needs to be a body, an entity that manages this. And so post launch of the brand, the EDB will continue in its role that I've been to manage it, because there'll be a set of brand guidelines. We want this brand to be accessible to anyone, but we certainly don't want it bastardised or used in the manner that it should not be.
The stronger that we can build a set of values and beliefs behind the shape, the longer the lifespan will be as well. As long as Pete said, those values and beliefs are true to who we are.
When you go through an audit of all the different logos from private sector to public sector to community groups here in South Australia, there's certain colours that South Australia owns. And then when you look at the other states as well, there's certain colours that flow in there. So, there's a lot of work that goes behind the creative identity to I think ultimately that does make it very simple, very clear, which ultimately with our beliefs and values should give it longevity. And I think if you look back to our history, our heritage, what we have done, that creative, industrious, innovative, it hasn't left us yet. I think we've caught it in the nick of time. And the fact that it's able to be used by so many people, it's not going to be just, you're quite correct, there's some magnificent works going on here in the city, but an oyster farmer on the west coast is going to be able to use it as much. And when we look at what this brand is, an endorser brand, it can be from strong to weak endorsement. There is no doubt that this will certainly be a high focus topic once it's released.
We might come up with a logo, but that's the brand. That is South Australia. And I think if we go into this with an expectation that somehow a logo is this panacea of our future prosperity, then we are kidding ourselves. Recognising the good stuff that we have here, doing something about the bad stuff and fixing up the latent stuff, regardless of whether we have a logo, is the secret of our future. Ken Cato designed the Commonwealth Bank logo. It's a corn chip dipped in Vegemite, right? It says nothing about banking. I don't get money, I don't get reassurance, I don't get anything out of it. But like Canada, it's what it triggers, it's what it symbolises, it's what it's just a recognition thing for a whole set of stuff.
You see, it does the two things. It creates awareness of where we are, but then actually talks about our beliefs and values.
The reason to do this is so that there is some very basic problems overcome. Awareness is one, self-belief is another. To garnish people wanting to either come spend their money here or invest their money here or come back and live here.
We'll be ready day one. I mean, we're waiting with bated breath for the Premier to give us the green light, but we will have, we'll call it the back office in total. It is very creative because it won't be just a matter of, well, here's the logo, you can only do this, because it's about beliefs and values. So each user of the identity will be able to give that little bit of their own beliefs and values to it.
It has to have a functional use too. And that functional use, it might be around geography, it might be around, it has to have a use that it overcomes the initial problem, which is awareness. I'd look at Flinders University in the same way. as I'd look at Mark's business from Chapel Hill. I'd say, Mark, please put this on the back of your bottle. Okay, I don't want southeastern Australia on the back of your bottle, please, or from whatever it is. You know, I want this on the back of your bottles. The same way with your livery and your literature and your marketing. Can you please put this on there? It's not going to hurt you, it'll help you.
Now, for private sector and government, there's a pretty obvious use straight away where they can get it, but it has to be simple, understandable. A person on the street just might use it just to tell people where they live. They don't just have to advertise or market something, they just might be able to just point to, this is where I live. It's important that the person on the street understands and gets it too, because you know, they'll ultimately be, as I said, the people are ultimately going to be the people that build the brand.